I'm Don Elliott, and I'm recording this as an abbreviated version of my caregiver story and the involvement of Trualta.com as part of that story. My story began in March of 2020 when my wife was first diagnosed with Alzheimer's with a vascular component. We had her tested in 2018 because we knew that cognitive abilities were declining. And yet, at that point in time, after a 4-hour cognitive test, it was determined that she was normal for a woman her age. By 2020, we had noticed significant additional decline, and we had her retested at the Duke Memory Center at Duke University. After several tests and some MRIs, the diagnosis came in, and our doctor immediately connected us with a hospice group, even though we were a long time from needing their support and their services. They came to evaluate her and helped us with one of the most important pieces of paper, which was a do not resuscitate order, because while she was still able to think and clearly understand how she wanted her life to progress, she was able to help make that decision, and I was made aware of her wishes. An important step that a lot of people seem to be unable to manage early in the process. 2020, of course, was when the pandemic began to set in force. And so for the next 3 years, we were pretty much isolated. I didn't want people coming in to give her COVID. I didn't want to catch COVID. And for at least the first year, we managed quite well. I installed cameras in all the rooms where she could be, and I felt like I could be gone to go grocery shopping or doctor's appointments without worrying too much about her. About a year into that process, she fell right in front of me one day, and I instantly knew that I could no longer leave her alone, because she fell face down, could not move her own body even to turn over. It would have been very uncomfortable and in pain until I got home and could call 911 to help get her off the floor. From that moment on, she never was left alone, period. In the fall of 2021, Duke University put on a virtual 3-day caregiver seminar. I wasn't able to attend all of it by Zoom, but I did attend a number of sessions and began to learn a lot about what dementia was and how it affected the person who had it and the caregiver. I filled out numerous surveys and requests for information while attending that session. Not quite a year later, in August of 2022, I was contacted by people representing UNC who were doing a study on what it meant to be a male caregiver. It involved putting myself and one other male caregiver together in a Zoom session and asking us questions and recording our responses. I found that to be an interesting experience because for the first time, I was actually connected with someone who was experiencing exactly what I was experiencing. Then a couple of weeks later, and I still to this day am not sure exactly how Trualta got my email, but I received an email from Madison at Trualta inviting me to what was to be the first of many video sessions connected with other caregivers. At the time, this session was called Care Companions and connected myself and 4 other caregivers via Zoom with a moderator who I believe was probably Madison at the time. I continued to attend those kind of sessions from that point until the current date. I believe in early 2023, Monique joined Trualta and became the host for the sessions that I attended from then on. For the last 2 years of her life, My wife lost the ability to stand on her own, move her own body in bed, and could not do anything for herself. I was essentially taking care of a 200-pound infant and found that to be very challenging. Obviously, I had not prepared for that role, had never even considered that someday I might be in such a role. So the help I got from other caregivers, both in understanding how to do the job and in understanding what dementia was and how it evolved, was incredibly helpful for me. Even though sometimes I had to attend the sessions separated in another room from my wife, because if she heard her name while I was in a conversation with anyone else, she was terrified that I was going to put her in a care facility and get rid of her. I did not want her to experience that stress, or myself to experience what happened when she got in that frame of mind. Her journey continued until May of 2023, where she was actually able to pass away in her sleep in her own bed. The last 7 months of that journey were under hospice care, which proved to be invaluable. After she passed away, I chose to continue to join with other caregivers through Tualta, and to this day find that to be a way to honor my wife's memory and to share with others the experience I gained as a caregiver through those years of caring for my wife. My wife's name was Donna, so we were Don and Donna. We were married for 19 years, and even though the last 3 years had some incredibly difficult moments, they also had some incredibly wonderful moments. There were moments of connection, even when she couldn't speak, that I will treasure for the rest of my life. I would not change a moment of the caregiver journey that I was able to travel with my wife. And with the help of Tualta, I was able to successfully navigate that journey, not just physically, but emotionally. I have come to appreciate how much it means for the caregiver community to have people to share with who really understand what it is they are dealing with, who really understand the problems they're already experiencing and the problems they might experience, and are able to provide assistance and comfort as that progress and their journey continues. I've also come to understand that every journey is different. The person we're caring for is different. The relationships are different. For instance, caring for a spouse is much different than caring for a parent. But there are many of the challenges are the same. And as we share together through the Tualta community, I feel we are helping people who have no other source of comfort and help deal with unimaginable difficulties as they try to get through what was not anticipated in their life, but has become the central focus of their life. I hope my thoughts help someone else along this journey.